Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please type in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Please let me know. Type in the chat and let me know if you can hear me. I need to be sure you are seeing me. Let's see. Okay, I need to be sure you are seeing me. Let's see. Okay, so yes, thank you, Marizu. Marizu, you say you can see me. Oh, I think there's a lag. Okay, thank you. I can see Florence. Florence says I can hear and see you. Okay, Florence, so you can hear and see me. Very good. Thank you for joining. I can't see myself, that's why I'm wondering. But if you can see me, then we will get started. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Just type in the chat. Are you in Scotland? Are you in UK? Somewhere else? Or Nigeria or Ghana or wherever? Can you still see me? Can you still see me? Please, someone else type that. Let me know that you can see me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I can't see myself for some reason. So I'm just checking that you can see me. Someone says they can't see me anymore. They can just hear me. That's strange. Right, let's work out what's wrong. Let's see what's wrong. Okay, I hope you can see me now. Can see me now. Oh no, I've gone again. Oh dear. Okay, I hope you can see me now. I think it's sorted, hopefully. Let's get started. So I can see Marisa from Dubai. Thank you for tuning in. It's lovely to see you all tuned in. Thank you very much. Right, so where are you all tuning in from? Please drop, let me know. I can see someone from Dubai. Where is everybody else tuning in from? Please let me know. Drop in the chat. Just tell me where you're logging in from. And how did you know about the class? How did you hear about it? Please let me know. I'm watching the chat so that we can pick up any questions or any feedback. I just want to be sure that everyone can see me and hear me. And we will get started. So welcome to the Obesity Live series. This is the live class. We've been doing the obesity series now for a while. I don't know if you've been watching the clips. If you've watched any of the clips, please let me know. Drop in the chat, just let me know you've watched the clips. I'll be glad to hear that. Did they make a difference? Have you tried any of the things we talked about? Have you tried any of the things we talked about? The intermittent fasting, the extended fasting, portion control, and so on. Have you tried any of that? Please let me know. So we wanted to do this live class to take some questions. We've had some questions coming in. I just want to thank everyone who sent in a question. Really, really good of you. Thank you for sending in the question. I will try and take them. As of this afternoon, I had 9 questions from people. But in the last 2 hours, I've got another 3. So we'll try and take all of them as time permits. If not, we'll carry over to another class. We'll do another class again. I can see Florence. Florence says she's tuned in from Aberdeen. Aberdeen, that's great. Nice to see you, Florence. And so who else is tuned in? Let me know where you've tuned in from, and we'll take the questions. So my name is Dr. Adaeze Ifezulike. If you've been following the channel, the MEP stands for mentally, emotionally, and physically fit person. MEP, fit person channel. This is a channel where I try to do some talks to educate us on health issues, really, because I believe people need to be mentally, emotionally, and physically fit to be able to enjoy life fully. Okay, so that's what the channel is all about. And this period, we've been talking about obesity because it's a huge one for everyone. It's a huge problem, not just because of itself, but because of the other illnesses that come along with it, things like diabetes, you know. So that's why we're addressing this series. And so I wanted some questions so we can address things that really matter to you. It's not just me talking to you, you know, I want to hear what your concerns are and try to address them. So I can see Victoria in the chat. She says, Vicky from Abuja, Nigeria, I have tried skipping breakfast and it's okay. Excellent. That's great feedback, Victoria. So you've tried skipping breakfast and you were fine with that. That's really good. Okay. I'm really glad you've done that. You should start experiencing the benefits really quickly. So let's go to the first question. If you're tuning in, this is Dr. Adaeze Ifezulike. I'm a lifestyle medicine physician. That means I'm trained to help you use your lifestyle to manage your health conditions, because a lot of the illnesses are lifestyle related. So throwing medicines at you, giving you tablets to drink when you have a lifestyle issue is not going to solve it. And that's why the medical community have come together to say, we need something more. It can't all just be about tablets. And that's why lifestyle medicine has become a new discipline in the medical field. And I'm fortunate to be one of the very first, I'm a pioneer lifestyle medicine physician here in the UK. And I just want to encourage you to look at your lifestyle, because there might be things you can tweak, things you can change that will solve that health problem. It's not all about taking medication, okay? So the first question here, this person says, my tummy gets upset with diarrhea whenever I try to fast. Why is that and what should I do? As I really want to try fasting, but I'm not managing due to diarrhea. Right, very good question. Has anybody else had diarrhea? Have you tried to fast and found that you were troubled with your bowels, you know? Have you had diarrhea fasting? Let me know what sort of bowel issues you've had during fasting. Have you had diarrhea? This person says they really want to fast, but each time they try it, they get diarrhea. So I want to explain why that is, okay? Because if you have an understanding of what is happening, that can help you cope better, okay? So normally when we eat, when we're eating, insulin, which is our storage hormone, is active. So insulin is active. It helps us to store food. It gives the body the signal to store food. Okay. So when you're fasting, there's no food. So insulin levels drop right down. Now, insulin, one of its functions is also to help us retain water. It helps us retain fluids. Okay. So if you're fasting, there's no insulin, you're going to start losing fluid. And the body removes, you know, sometimes you feel bloated and things, sometimes just water retention. So with you fasting, you might notice that you're peeing a lot, you're going to the bathroom, passing a lot of urine, or you start having diarrhea. That's just the body's way of removing all that excess fluid that insulin was holding on to, you know. So you might be having diarrhea, it can be quite normal, okay? Hopefully that should settle as you keep and continue with the fast. Your body gets used to the lower levels of insulin and starts adjusting to that. But if it's so troublesome that you're not coping at all, then you can try to take some things that will help stop the diarrhea. There's a really good one called psyllium husk. If you mix that with some water and drink, it has a way of mopping up the extra fluid in your tummy. So that should help with your diarrhea. Or just speak to a pharmacist, go to the chemist, ask for something for diarrhea, and that should help you. You might also try reducing your water intake for a day or two. Okay, but I just wanted to explain, because I believe people need to understand what is happening, because it helps them cope. So you're not thinking, oh my goodness, something terrible is happening to me. We want you to do this safely. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. If you're here, you've had diarrhea, you've been bothered with diarrhea, I hope that helps. Please drop into the chat, type something, let me know you can still hear me and see me. I don't want to be talking to myself in case I need to adjust the volume or something. So I'm watching the chat so I can get some feedback. Can you still hear me okay? Can you see me all right? Let's get some feedback, please. Thank you to all who are joining in. Really grateful to those who sent in questions. Remember, you can still send in questions to mepfitperson@gmail.com and I will take your questions. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. This one was also about the bowel. The person says, I get constipation if I fast, no matter how much water I drink. What do I do? So this person's problem is constipation. I get constipation if I fast, no matter how much water I drink. What do I do? Right. I want you to understand that constipation means that there's, there's food stuck inside that is not coming out, okay? Now, when you're fasting, there's no food, you're not eating. So there shouldn't be food stuck inside. You see what I mean? Unless you were already constipated before you started the fast, okay? So what you might be thinking is constipation might be the bowel just not working because there's no food. So there's nothing for it to do. It's actually resting, which is a really good thing for it to do, okay? It's not uncommon to just move your bowels once or twice a week when you're fasting. That's totally normal because remember, you're not eating much. You're not eating much, so you wouldn't expect to move your bowels every single day. So if it might be that what you're thinking is constipation, it's just the bowels not moving as usual because there's not much. However, if it's causing you tummy pain, you shouldn't start having tummy pain from that, okay? If it's making you feel unwell or you really feel things need to move, then just get a little bit of laxative. There's some fiber sachets you can buy over the counter, mix with water and drink, and that gets your bowels moving, okay? But it's also very likely that there's nothing to move and you just feel you need to go because you've always gone every day, okay? But when you're fasting, please realize that there's not much to move, okay? I see Nana says, can hear you clearly. Thank you so much for that feedback, Nana, thank you. Okay, let's move to the next question. This one was around, a lot of people talked about acid problem. They seem to experience a lot of acid when they're fasting. The acid seems to come off from their tummy into their chest. You can feel a burning in your chest or up in your throat. And for some people, that can really bother them and discourage them from fasting. So that's not an uncommon thing. That does happen, okay? So what do you do about that? There are a few things you could do. You could take some antacids. I don't know if you've heard about Gaviscon or Peptac liquid, just something like that can help to neutralize that burning in your chest and your throat, okay? Or even just novel home remedies, like some people find that a spoon or two of apple cider vinegar inside water or some lemon juice inside water, if you drink that, that seems to stimulate the stomach, the muscles of the stomach to push the acid further down. So the acid goes down rather than coming up into your throat, okay? So those are simple things you could do. It may not work for everyone, but definitely worth a try, okay? Try your antacid, try your home remedies. If that doesn't work, one way around it is to just do shorter fasts, okay? Don't come and fast for 2-3 days. If you're really troubled with acid reflux, you might do shorter fasts, but more frequently. So for example, we talked about intermittent fasting. If you haven't watched these clips, if you don't watch my clip on intermittent fasting or extended fasting, please go back and watch them. It will help you understand a lot of what I'm saying. So if the longer fasts are making your heartburn to be worse, you're always having this acid reflux, then do shorter fast. So it might be that you just miss out your breakfast, okay? That's a short fast. So you have your dinner the night before, and then your next meal, you could try and push your breakfast forward by 2 hours or so. Even that little change, if you do that regularly every day, for example, might be enough to get you the health benefits of fasting. And yes, you're not doing a very long fast that will bring up the acid reflux. Okay, I hope that helps. Just checking what's happening in the chat. Marisa says, all good here. Nana can hear you clearly. Thank you very much. So looking forward to your feedback. I just want to be sure this is useful to you and to know where people are tuning in from. Do let me know where you've tuned in from. Okay, so the next question is the person says, why do I get headaches and feel dizzy when fasting? Why do I get headaches and feel dizzy when fasting? This discourages me from fasting, even though I need it because my BMI is 42. Right. So this is someone with a BMI of 42 who can really, really benefit from fasting for weight loss. But they're saying they have headaches and feel dizzy when they are fasting. So what can they do about that? I must say that headaches, dizziness, that sort of not feeling 100% is a common problem when you start fasting initially, okay? But the good news is that it tends to get better, does get better, okay? Now, it's very likely that it might be due to the lower levels of salt in your system. Normally, when you're eating, we tend to eat too much salt. Our meals are often really salty. So our systems are already at a high level of salt. You know, salt levels are really high. Now you're fasting. So the salt level drops right down when you're fasting, okay? That may account for the headachy feeling you feel, that's dizziness. So this tends to stop as you continue the fasting. However, there are things you can do. For example, some people just put a pinch of salt into water. That can help with the headaches, okay? Others who struggle may find that things like bone broth, you know, if you boil your bones with some salt and then drain off the bone, so you're drinking the bone broth, that can help with that dizziness, that headachy feeling. It might also be that you just need to drink a bit more water. You know, there are people who, when you wake up in the morning, your head is sore. You know, the day hasn't even started, but your head is sore. It can just be dehydration because you've been asleep all through the night, not really taking in fluids, especially if you didn't drink much the night, you know, the day before, the evening before you slept. By morning, you might find that you're actually dehydrated and your head is sore. For such people, I've said to them, just once you wake up, drink a glass of water. And they just see that the headache goes away. Their head is sore because they're dehydrated. So that may be something to make sure you are drinking enough fluids during your fasting. Okay. And then, yeah, try to add a pinch of salt or some bone broth. Something that has a bit of salt in it might be enough to help you get through. But we don't want you struggling through, you know, if you're really so uncomfortable, then just stop and eat. That's why fasting is fantastic. You can stop and start anytime. You know, if you don't feel well, then just stop and try it again the next day. If you feel unwell, you're not right, speak to a doctor, okay? Don't try and push through. We don't want you, we really want you doing this safely. I mean, the health benefits of fasting are tremendous, okay? But we don't want you pushing through even when you don't feel well. And if you haven't watched the other videos, really important to go back and watch them. Please subscribe to the channel, MEP, this channel where I'm doing this broadcast from. Click the subscribe button so that when the videos come up, you can watch them. It's a 12-part series on obesity. Don't miss any of them. We've done 8 videos so far, so 4 more to go. Subscribe so you can get all the videos. Now, next question was around sleep issues. A lot of people seem to not sleep properly when they're fasting, okay? This person felt they were more alert, you know, they just couldn't sort of switch off and go to sleep. So sleep issues, I want to quickly address that. During fasting, because your insulin levels are low, okay, other hormones come into play, what we call counter-regulatory hormones, things like adrenaline, like your growth hormone, they actually come up to help your body release energy from your fat stores. Because now you're not eating, but the body needs energy. So these other hormones come into play. They help the body to tap into its fat stores. And that release of energy from your fat stores, is a burst of energy that keeps you alert. And that can affect your sleep. That can actually make you, and in fact, in the past, among the Greek philosophers, if they wanted to be more alert, wanted their brain to work better, they fasted because they felt they were more alert when they've been fasting. So you might find that when you start fasting, your system seems to be more alert and you might struggle to sleep. So what can you do? Just practice your sleep hygiene. What do we mean by sleep hygiene? Wait till you're tired. Don't go to bed and lie down for 2 hours waiting for sleep to come. No, get up, go to bed when you're tired, okay? Try some breathing exercise. I love my breathing exercises. Maybe I'll do a video on that because once I start doing it, I'm off to sleep. So breathing exercises are great. Meditation, really good for getting you to sleep. Avoid watching televisions that, programs that will stimulate you, all those horror movies, mystery things, because by the time you lie down, you're replaying all that in your head and it keeps you awake, So avoid scary stuff in the evenings, especially avoid tense discussions with your spouse. That's not the time to quarrel or talk about issues that are really, tense, because that means when you're lying in bed, you're replaying all the arguments or whatever has been going on. That can keep you awake. Avoid your electronics like an hour or 30 minutes before sleep. Try not to look at your phone because the blue light from your phone actually inhibits your sleep hormone. It inhibits melatonin. Melatonin is your sleep hormone. So if you do need to use your electronics, you might have to get a blue light blocker. There are things that block the blue light from the phone. Or your phone might have a setting that switches off the blue lights, in the evenings, that sort of thing that might help you settle down better. So the excess energy you feel, that alertness, is simply the body tapping into your trapped energy. All that fat is trapped energy. So the body is finally tapping into it, and it can be a great burst of energy for you. And that's why fasting is great for lethargy. If you're the type of person that is always feeling tired, feeling weak, try fasting, okay? It's great for, improving your alertness and your brain function. Okay, so the next question, I hope we're following. Can I get some feedback? Can I get some feedback? Can you hear me clearly, please? Can I just check that you can hear me and see me and that the internet is holding up, that everything is working well? Let me have some feedback, please. Okay, give me some feedback. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know that you can see me. Let me know that you can see me and hear me. Okay, right. So the next question, this person says, I noticed my blood sugar. I noticed that my blood sugar went down when I fasted. I am on medicines for my diabetes. Is that normal? So the question is, I noticed my blood sugar went down when I fasted. I am on medicines for my diabetes. Is that normal? So for this person, you need to work with a doctor, okay? I don't want you doing this on your own. You need to be able to check your blood sugars. Do you have the glucometer? Are you able to do a pinprick? Really important to check your blood sugar, write down the numbers, jot it down, speak to your doctor, let them know what numbers you're getting. Because when you start fasting, your blood sugar is going to improve. So you might need to reduce your medication, okay? So carry your doctor along or your diabetes specialist nurse, okay? Because they might need to adjust your medication. You will find that if you make fasting a lifestyle, even if it's just shortening your feeding window by a couple of hours, your diabetes will improve as you lose weight, okay? So important to work with your diabetes specialist nurse or doctor so they keep an eye and start reducing your medication. That may be why your blood sugar is going low, okay? Others actually notice that their blood sugar goes up when they are fasting, which is interesting because they're not eating, you're not eating. So where is the blood, how come the blood sugar goes up? Think about it. If you're not eating, where would the sugar come from? It's from your body stores. So the hormones like we mentioned, like the growth hormone, adrenaline, they're now tapping into your body fat stores and releasing energy as glucose into the blood. Okay, remember you're fasting. So the sugar rise you notice hasn't come from food because you're not eating. It's come from your body stores in the liver. And that's what we're trying to do. We want to make the body use its stored energy. That's what the stores are for. That's what they're for. They need to be used. So it has to be emptied out. The stores have to be emptied out so you can lose weight. Okay. I hope that answers your question. We're going to the next question. This person says, I have tried IF. IF, I guess they mean intermittent fasting. I've tried IF, but fail each time after a few days, as I find it hard to sip tea and coffee all day. How do you manage to keep it up when your head hurts from lack of food? Very good question. Very, very good question. It says, how do you manage to keep it up when your head hurts from lack of food? A very common question, and it's really important to understand that food simply means fuel, okay? Food, the food you're eating is simply fuel for the body, okay? And when you're overweight, when you're obese, so your BMI is over 30, you already have heaps of fuel anyway. It's just that it's trapped as body fat, okay? So fasting is just giving your body a chance to use what it's been storing. So headaches are common, like I mentioned before, and may be due to several things like dehydration, reduced salt levels. So please, I want you to watch my clip on mindset for fasting, okay? I want you to understand that fasting is quite normal. We fast every day when we sleep. You're not eating when you sleep, remember? So the body is adapted to fasting, okay? So if you have that mindset to understand that actually, even though I'm not eating, my body has the energy it needs. It's getting what it needs from my stored fat. If you have that mindset, then you find that you're not worrying about, oh, why is my head hurting from lack of food? Your head will not be lacking from lack of food, because food is fuel and your body has fuel. Unless you're not overweight, if you're malnourished or if you're thin, you have no business fasting. So this program is really for people whose BMI is above 25, who are overweight, those who are BMI over 30, who are obese, okay? So those people have plenty energy stored. So now, if you're finding it hard, you said it's hard to sip tea and coffee all day. Okay, why don't you mix it up? Sometimes I use just warm water. I just sip warm water, okay? There are different teas you can try. Mint tea. I often have a flask of lemon tea, a flask of green tea. I use different teas because that sort of makes it exciting for me. So you can try different herbal teas to see if that helps, okay? And that should also mean that your head doesn't hurt. If your head is hurting just from dehydration, those can help, okay? But please watch my clip on mindset, really important. Okay, I'm just checking the chat to make sure I'm not missing any questions or anything I need to address. Okay, fine. Thank you so much to all those who tuned in. Thank you. Okay, right, so let's go to the next question. This person says, some people are saying not eating enough every day makes you gain weight. Which one are we to believe? Let me read it again. Some people are saying not eating enough every day makes you gain weight. Which one are we to believe? I feel you, honestly. There's a lot of confusion out there. We've evolved from 3 meals a day to several meals a day. Now people, instead of just having 3 meals, people have breakfast, then they have a mid-morning snack, then they have lunch, then they have a midday snack, and they have dinner, and then a nighttime lunch snack. So a lot of eating is going on, and we've been told that this is right, this is normal. Well, actually, that's not right, okay? We're never meant to eat that frequently. And when we eat that way, we completely forget the role of insulin in all this. Insulin is our storage hormone. I've talked so much on insulin. Please go back and watch the clips. As long as we keep eating, it's going to give the body the signal to store energy. So several meals in the course of the day means we're not going to ever be able to burn our body fat because insulin is there saying to the body, don't burn fat, store fat. Insulin says store fat, you know. So we do need to have periods when we're not eating so that the body is not storing. The body is actually burning its fat stores. Okay, so to the person who asked this question, it's not right to, I know those were the teachings in the past, but thank goodness things have changed. People are becoming more aware that the advice to people to eat several small meals through the day is not right. Okay, it's contributing to the obesity epidemic we have. And just from your own personal experience, let it not be me telling you, you eating several times a day, has that helped you to lose weight? If it hasn't, then maybe it's time for a change. If you've done the same thing for a long time, doing your best to reduce your meals, you know, but you're eating them frequently through the day, you know, and that hasn't worked, you're not losing weight, maybe time to change what you're doing. Try shortening your feeding window and see if you lose weight, okay? And just a reminder that the Fab Weight Loss Academy, we can help you. If you're struggling to do these things on your own, to lose weight, you've tried several things and it hasn't helped, please contact me at fabweightlossacademy@gmail.com. Fab for fabulous, so F-A-B, weightlossacademy@gmail.com. We have a weight loss class starting 2nd May. Get in touch. We'll be glad to hold your hand and help you to lose weight, okay? So get in touch through that email if you need some help. So the next question, we were told to always have a calorie deficit as that is the way to lose weight. We were told to always have a calorie deficit as that is the way to lose weight. So the person wanted to know my opinion. Okay, so it's just similar to what we just talked about, calorie deficit. When you try to cut down on your meals, so for example, maybe you've always eaten 3,000 calories, okay? That's the amount of food you eat. That's quite a lot. Let's say 3,000 calories. And you expect to maybe burn 3,000 calories. So when you eat 3,000 calories and burn 3,000 calories, you won't add weight, isn't it? Because there's no deficit, okay? Now, supposing you want a deficit, you want to lose weight. So you decide that instead of 3,000 calories a day, you're going to eat 1,500 calories. So you've cut down, you're eating less than you were eating before, and you're expecting that your output will still be 3,000 so that there will be a deficit so you lose weight. Unfortunately, the research shows that when you cut down, when you cut down your intake, a number of things happen, okay? Because of what we call the basal metabolic rate. Now, the basal metabolic rate is the energy the body needs for all these vital organ function. You know, like I'm speaking to you now, my brain is working, it needs energy. My lungs are breathing in and out, it needs energy to do that. My kidneys are producing urine, my liver is detoxifying me, and so on. So all these vital organ processes require energy. That's what we call the basal metabolic rate, okay? So when you cut down on your calories to maybe from 3,000 to 1,005, and you split these meals, I see people eating maybe 6 small meals, you know, doing their best to stay within the calorie they have cut down. Now, what happens is that as long as you're still eating, whether it's small amounts or not, insulin is still in charge. Okay, that's what we're missing when we say calorie, when we say, oh, I'm cutting down my calories. As long as you're still eating, no matter the amount, small amounts, but you're eating them throughout the day, insulin is still there. So insulin says to the body, you've got to store fat. Okay, so whatever you're eating is going to storage. It's not available for the energy that your basal metabolic rate needs. Okay. Now, the body still has to maintain all these organ functions, but it's not getting the energy it needs because insulin is mobilizing all your eating to storage, okay? So the body has to do one of two things. The body needs energy for vital organ function. So it's going to, number one, increase your hunger hormone, what we call the ghrelin. Ghrelin is our hunger hormone. The body is going to make you feel hungry because it wants you to eat, because it needs energy, you know? So you're going to feel more hungry when you reduce your calorie, the calories you're taking in. So that's one thing that happens. The other thing is that the body has to reduce its basal metabolic rate. It has to reduce the energies it is using. It needs energy for all these organs to function. It needs energy to keep you warm. So one of the first things the body is going to turn off is heat. It can't heat you. Heat can't provide heat energy to you if it's not getting enough energy. Okay, and that's why you feel cold when you cut down your deficit, your calories. I see people saying, "Oh, doctor, I'm always so cold and hungry, and I'm not even eating much. I'm trying to lose weight, so I've cut down on my calories." And I say to them, that is not the solution. Okay, you do need to make sure there's a period within your day, or when you are not eating. There's got to be that period of fasting that allows the body to burn its fat. Okay, I hope that answers that. So those were the questions I got initially. And but like I was saying, just 2 hours before I came on, I got some more questions. So I'm going to have a look and see if we can quickly look at those questions before we close. Okay, so this question is from Vicky. Vicky sent in some questions, and she says on day two, I guess she means day 2 of the series. So thank you for watching. I'm glad you're following the teaching. Says you talked about foods. You said fats are absorbed into the body, but does not raise the insulin levels much. Does this support ketogenic way of living? So you're asking if this supports ketogenic way of living. That's a really good question. So in the ketogenic way of living, they encourage a lot of fat intake because of the understanding that fatty food does not raise insulin. Remember, we said obesity is a problem with high insulin levels, okay? So healthy fats do not raise insulin levels as much as refined carbohydrates, okay? So that's where ketogenic diets come in, and they're really useful. If you're having healthy fats, I see people drinking all sorts of unhealthy fat. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about eating healthy fats, your avocados, your almond nuts, your oily fish, those sort of food, your olives, your olive oil, and so on. Those ones are really good because they won't raise your insulin levels. That means insulin won't be active. That means you can lose weight. So yes, that supports the keto. You can see why ketogenic diet works, okay? But my issue with it is you've got to take healthy fats if you're using the ketogenic diet, okay? So, and we'll talk about what to eat when you break your fast. So subscribe to the channel. That will be one of the next few. I think the next teaching or so we'll be talking about when you actually break your fast, what do you eat? So you don't undo the good work you've done. Okay, so your next question, Vicky, says, are there types of fruits, fibers, and vegetables that raise insulin levels? Or are all fruits and vegetables okay for eating when battling with obesity? That's a very good question. Very good question. So generally, most foods raise insulin levels, okay? But the refined carbohydrates are the really bad ones. So your sugars and refined carbs raise insulin levels right through the roof. Your fructose also raises insulin level, okay? So those ones are the ones that we need you to really be careful about, the refined sugars and carbohydrates, okay? Because they really do raise insulin levels. And once your insulin levels are high, you can't lose weight, okay? Then you said that all fruits and vegetables okay for eating. We definitely encourage a lot of vegetables, okay? Fruits are good. Fruits are full of vitamins that your body needs, so, and full of fiber too, if you're eating the whole fruits. So don't drink, I say to people, don't drink your orange, eat your orange, okay? Don't drink your apple, eat your apple. So the whole apple itself has fiber, which is useful. So yes, we encourage eating those, but try to eat them within your feeding window. Okay, we don't want you eating banana in the morning, apple midday, so you're spreading your meals, because if you're spreading that, that means insulin is always on duty. And where insulin goes, fat storage goes, okay? But if during your feeding window, you bring all the fruits you want to eat and eat them during that window, that is fantastic, okay? Let's see, your last question. You said, number 3, you said, per adventure you embark on OMAD. OMAD is 1 meal a day. So you said, per adventure you embark on OMAD during the feeding window. Are you permitted to eat whatever you like till you are full? I love that question. It said, are you permitted to eat whatever you want till you're full? Okay, good question. So if you've been very good and you've observed your fasting, maybe you decided you're going to have only dinner, in your 1 meal a day. Okay, so you fasted from dinner the day before up until dinner the next day. Now it's time to eat. It's really important to not undo your efforts, okay? I'm quite happy for you to eat almost anything you want, to be honest, as long as it's within your window. But we encourage you to stick to healthy fats, okay? Stick to healthy fats, stick to your proteins, try to cut down on your carbohydrates. So we still encourage a low carbohydrate meal. So you can eat whatever you want, but try these basic guidelines. I'll do a video on that. Try and make it low carbs, okay? So for example, instead of having bread and having your bread, for example, your 2 slices of bread with some chicken and vegetable. So the bread is the carbs now, you brought in the carbs. You can do that, but you can also decide not to have the bread, Instead of 1 chicken, you can have 2 chicken. That will fill you up better, with your salad, your vegetables, and have some fruit. So it's about making wise choices when you actually do break your fast. The way I say it, in my eating window, the window is short, so I want to just eat healthy food. Why would I fill my tummy with 3 slices of bread when I can have some yummy mackerel, some fish, sardine, something really nice, some eggs, So those are sort of healthy and nicer food rather than filling myself up with something like bread. But of course, there are whole wheat bread and so on. We'll do a talk on that. So time has far gone. Thank you for sending in the questions. There were how many? 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, there were 12 questions on the whole. Thank you once again for sending them in. Please send in your questions to mepfitperson@gmail.com and I will try to answer them. I see the chat. Daibara says, many thanks, Doc, for impacting my life. Wow. Thank you for that feedback, my dear. Thank you so much. That's what this is all about, impacting people's life. And I'm glad you found it all useful. So if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, okay? The obesity series continues tomorrow. So there'll be another video tomorrow to continue the series. Remember, it's a 12-part series. If you've missed any of the clips, please go back and watch. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Send in your questions and we'll address them all. Thank you. Don't forget, before I forget, our weight loss group will start in May 2nd. Okay, so if you need some hand holding, please come in. The coaches are amazing, and I'll be there also. We'll hold your hand and help you to get your health goals. So join us for the weight loss class at fabweightlossacademy@gmail.com. Okay, so see you next time on the obesity series. Bye.